So, just like everything in life, sometimes it's kind of hard to get your focus. You have that drive, you have that determination to actually do well in whatever concept that you're dealing with. But for some reason, there's always something kind of dragging your attention, and then you kind of lose focus. You get to the point where you're just like, well, is this worthwhile? And then you start contemplating, is this what you should be doing? But you knew from the very beginning, this was something that you really wanted. So it could be like trying to get into the military, or actually eventually getting your high school diploma because you want to release yourself from that burden. So what we do here is we make this into a safe space, especially for those that are in the 25 plus age group and they are thinking about going back to school, or they need to go back because they have to pass a math test. Maybe because they're trying to improve in their current career, or maybe they have to get their high school diploma because they want to get a better career. Regardless, I am here to create a safe space, breaking down concepts to put it to a point that people can basically break it down step by step. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Audrey Codner, and I'm the owner of Math by Audrey and ACG Math Tutoring. And yes, I did come on a little bit early, but the reason why I did that is, one, it's going to be hotter than Hades outside. So when you live in an older home, it loves to absorb that heat, and I don't know what's going to happen at 8 o'clock, okay? But for the most part, that's why we're here. We're here to break down concepts, not just to do a whole bunch of math problems and say, yay, we did that, but really just try to understand, why is this? Why is this important, and why would this be a word problem or a problem that's going to be on those assessments called the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, maybe even SAT and ACT. Because the foundation of math, the adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, fractions, decimals, percentage, if we don't understand those concepts, it's going to be hard for you to look at algebra. Because before you can get to geometry and pre-calculus and calculus and all that, you have to understand the algebra. So what I do here is we're going to break down a couple of questions, but I basically come back to, I put all my stuff in a book, okay? Algebra at your pace. And I have plenty of other resources to help you with your quest. So let's take a look at a couple problems today. So today we just have a couple questions that is very similar to what you would see on any of those assessments that I mentioned earlier. So right now, I've been trying to get my focus, and for some reason, my focus doesn't want to focus right. But that's okay, we're going to make through it. So we have 3 out of 4 numbers have a sum of 24. If the average of the 4 numbers is 9, what is the 4th number? So is it A, B, C, or D? So just by looking at this, hey Real Deal, how are you? Good morning. How are you feeling? It's been a minute. So as you look at this, first off, how are you feeling? Okay, how are you feeling exactly? Okay, are you feeling, oh God, word problems? Are you feeling, yeah, I'm never gonna figure this out? Or is it gonna be like, where do I start? And that's generally the question a lot of people ask. So as we're kind of looking at this, we're saying 3 out of the 4 numbers have a sum of 24. If the average, that's a key word. So if you're new to my little spot here on TikTok, anytime there's certain words that will give you certain commands, certain clues. So if you think of it almost like a detective and not so much reading word problems like you're reading a novel, they're giving you small clues. Major clue right here, average. Okay? Anytime they say the word average, that means we're looking at mean. And mean is when you add up all the numbers and you divide by how many numbers you have. Okay? Real deal, I see you. See you doing math. Look at you. All right? So they're saying 3 out of the 4 numbers. So let's say we have this, this, here's 3, there's 4. So say we had 4 numbers, and they're telling us that 3 out of those 4, boom, okay, have a sum. Sum means addition. So that means all 3 of these is equal to 24. Okay? If the average of the 4 numbers, so if we're taking the average, that means we're dividing by how many numbers we have, and they said that the average is 9. They want to know what is that 4th number. Okay? So I got a D from Maria. I got an A from TikTok Poster. Okay? Hello, hello. Let's see if we can break this down. So when we got our 24 plus our unknown number, and I'm going to use an X, over 4 is equal to 9. So now I want to solve this for X. So right now we have division and addition happening. So if you recall, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, multiplication or division from left to right comes before addition and subtraction. So let's get it out of this fraction form. There you go. Thank you. So we're going to multiply both sides by whatever our denominator is, which in this case is 4. The reason why we do that, because 4 divided by 4, that will give me a 1. And if I multiply that 24 plus x to 1, anything multiplied by 1 is itself. So we have our 24 plus x is equal to 9 times 4, which gives me 36. Okay? So now we want to get x by itself. So this is when we're going to have to do the inverse. Now, we need to move this 24 on the other side. Yes. So we're going to do the inverse. This plus sign is not going to the 24. It's going towards the x. Okay? A lot of people generally get that mixed up. So since this 24, if I look to the left of it, if I don't see a minus sign, that means I'm assuming that 24 is positive. So what do? The inverse of plus, which is minus. So 24 minus 24 will give me 0, but I don't need that 0 as a placeholder. Bringing down my x. So now you have 36 minus 24. That gives us 12. So the missing number for this will be 12. Because if we take a look, 24 plus 12, okay, that will give me my 36. And 36 divided by 4 will give me my 9. So our answer for this one is D. Okay. So our answer for this one is D. Alright, how are we feeling? Because sometimes the part that throws a lot of people is how to set it up. And yes, I set it up with basic 3 boxes, even though it says 3 out of the 4. So I know if I put 3 boxes, I know those 3 boxes are going to what? Have a sum of 24. That's where the 24 came from, for those that are coming in later. So that's why I just cleaned it up. I have an unknown. And this is one of the things that some teachers do as you transition into algebra. They're just like, okay, we went from a box, which is an unknown. We can fill it in with any number. We replaced it with a variable. And the most popular variables are your x and your y's. Reason why? Because we have xy variables, or xy axes. Okay? All right. Okay, so Oliver, that's one thing, but there's a lot of people that can't do it in their head because they probably have never been taught it. How can you do something in your head if you haven't been taught it? Think about it. But I appreciate your comment. All right, so let's look at another situation. And if you want more questions like this, just go ahead and go to the link in my profile and be able to break things down. Okay? All right. Hey, Andy. How are you, love? All right. Now, this one trips up a lot of people because right away when you see this, you freak out. But let's take a look at what's happening here. So it says, at how many points will the line y equals 12 intersect the parabola y equals 3x squared? First thing a lot of people will think of. Hi, my faith. How you doing? But when I get in front of the test, my mind goes blank. My faith. Trust me. I'm going to pin this. Because here's the thing, and I'm going to be very blunt and very honest. We can't just watch videos. In order for you to really and truly learn, and I'm not just saying to pick you out, because trust me, there's 165 people here, and I know there's thousands more that think the same thing, because they watch my replays and they say the same thing. But when it's time for me to do it, I can't do it, because here's the missing piece. Where's the application? So like when you get all this information, what do you guys do with it? You guys take screenshots of stuff, but what do you do with it? So that's why we got to practice. We learn it and we have to practice it immediately, and then we have to apply it immediately. That's how it sticks in your brain. Okay? All right. So now, here's the first thing. A lot of you guys are starting to solve. Okay? You're starting to solve. Some of you guys got these answers, like I see you. All right? So, good morning, my faith. I see you 2 a.m. I see you, Link or IL. I see you, Jay Smith. I see you, Lindsay. I see you, Anthony. Okay? I see a lot of these things. But here's the major part. They're saying a parabola. This is probably get a lot of people stuck. Because if you haven't learned anything about quadratic functions, you're not going to know what a parabola is. So anytime you have a function or an equation with your highest degree as a 2, you're going to get a quadratic function. And a parabola is the U-shape that a quadratic function develops. If my A value is positive, my U-shape is going to open up like a cup. If it said -3 for some reason, don't write this down. If it said a -3, your parabola will open down like a frown. Okay? So that's a quick thing about quadratics. If your leading coefficient is positive, it opens up like a cup. If it is a negative, so say it said y equals -3x squared, that means it opens down like a frown. All right? So, with that information, we're not plugging anything in, Luke. Trust me. You could, but you have to think about the graph. We're mostly visual learners. Okay? We're mostly visual learners. So if we're saying we have a line That's y equals 12. Think about the graph. Your y-axis goes up and down. Your x-axis go left to right. And if we're saying that we have a line that's going through at 12, this is what y equals 12 looks like. It is a horizontal line only going through the y-axis at 12. Right? So now we know about a parabola. We know that it has a positive coefficient. So that means it's going to open up like a cup. So now let's take a look at the question. At how many points will the line intersect? Another key vocab, intersect, crossing. How many times is going to cross this line y equals 12? It's going to cross it at 2 spots, right here and here. Okay? Didn't even tell you where, doesn't even tell you anything else. Sometimes you may get a question like this. These are one of those type of questions that having the visual helps you to answer it. So we didn't have to go put it into 12 and solve and what exactly is going to cross. It didn't ask for that. So here's my thing. When you're taking especially standardized tests, let me tell you, when you take standardized tests, you have time against you. ASVAB, if you're taking the ASVAB, all the people going into military, you have 1 minute to answer each question. People taking their GED or high school equivalency, you have 1 minute and 10 seconds for each question. For a question like this, maybe what? 5, maybe 6 seconds, maybe even 10. But then if you're taking the GED, you have an extra minute that you can put on another question that you can think more with. Okay? All right? So you didn't have to do that. Hey, film artist, how are you? Okay, so we don't have to do any solving. We don't have to do any plugging in. You're doing extra stuff for no reason. Okay? All right, so if you like more problems like this, I took them directly out of my book that I currently have, Practice Exams. So if you're just like, hey, I need some more practice problems like that, then you can use either the Practice Exams. It's full 6-4 tests. So I can show you. All right, so there's that one question that we had with the 3 with the mean, the average. And then here's the other question that we had, talking about the lines of points. So all you have to do is you need to practice the way that you're going to test. But if you are using old knowledge to help practice and to work on this test, you're going to have difficulties. You're going to keep getting the same results. It's just like, as I mentioned, it's just like a lawnmower. You have a lawnmower, it's been sitting for like how many months, all of a sudden you want to use it, but you're going to use old gas, old oil, and it's not going to turn over. So you're going to have to sift that out, put some fresh gas in, put some fresh oil in. Maybe I have to prime it a little bit, just like what you're going to have to do. Okay, so if you want to get the practice book, you can get it in my link in my bio. Okay, there's only one link that's in that profile. And once you go through that, that's my stand store. And you can actually get the practice book itself with its answer key, or you can get the practice book with the video answer key, as I'm actually breaking down all of these questions step by step, so you can see how I got my answers. All right. Hey, Lynette, how you doing? All right. Good morning. Okay. 2 more. Now, this one I want to reiterate because we were working on these concepts yesterday. We were working on ratios. Now, if for some reason, hey, you got to go to work right now, do that. Don't lose your job because I have a lot of my stuff is already on my YT account. So if you need to see the replays, you can actually go there. So Math by Audrey. Okay. So that'll be my YT channel. So if a person walks at a speed of 4 miles per hour, how long will it take to walk 10 miles? How are you feeling with this question? Okay. How are we feeling with this question? So I love how I'm getting, oh, okay, that's your name, D. Okay. All right. How are we feeling about this one? Okay. So a lot of people are saying B's, saying B's, saying B's. And I'm thinking of a person that hasn't been in school for a while, and you're like, how in the holies of all kinds of things are people getting a B? How are they getting this answer? And how they get it so quick? And now you're sitting there like, I must be stupid. I gotta, no, stop. Okay? There's a lot of people that are still, like maybe they're taking calculus, and maybe there's some people that just finished school, or maybe some people are like really good with math and enthusiasts. We are no longer worried about them. I'm focusing on the ones that are having a freaking heart attack. Okay? So, let's take a look. If a person walks at a speed of 4 miles per hour, miles per hour is that comparison. So anytime I hear or I see a comparison, I immediately think of a fraction. The key word is per. So I am having my miles per hour. Okay? Per division. So let's set it up. So if we're saying 4 miles per hour, that means that's in 1 hour. They want us to figure out how long. So time. So how long, and notice your answers are all in hours, so we don't have to do any extra conversion. So we want to know how long. Since we don't know that, my unknown is going to be down in the denominator. Keep with the same pattern. So now we have our miles to walk in 10 miles. Okay. So we need to think. So I know if I doubled 4, that will give me 8. And 8's not close to 10. But if I said tripled 4, that would give me 12. 12 is more than 10. So right away, I just did a little bit of mental math. I used my answer choices. So in order for me to get from 4 to 10, if I multiplied 2 to the 4, that's only going to give me the 8. So I'm going to be short 10. If I tried 3, 4 times 3 will give me 12. That's more than 10. So that's not going to work. And I'm not even going to try 4. Obviously, if 3 is too much, what do you think 4 is going to be? So if I were to do this as an actual test, I would kind of use mental math. If you rather use multiplication, since it's equals, we're going to cross multiply, right? So you have that other choice. 4 times x gives me 4x. 1 times 10 gives me 10. If I want to divide both sides by 4, because 4 times x, the inverse is division. How many 4s can go into 10? 2 without going over. Then I bring down my 0, that'll make it into your 20, which is 0.5. Okay, so you'll have your answer is going to be B. If you round it up to 3, because I did see a couple C's in there, if you round it up to 3 hours, that's going to be more than 10. We don't want anything to be more than 10. Okay, we want to be as precise as we can be. All right, so let's take a look. All right. Okay, let's see what we got for comments. So I did see, okay, Royal and Pretty, you don't hate math. You hate how it makes you feel. The first time that you, and trust me, I'm going to pin your post. I'm going to pin it because I'm going to. She's like, no. Because there's so many people, they'll say I hate math. Now, do you think I came out the womb knowing this? Hell no. When I was growing up, fractions, hated them. Word problems, go back to the depths of hell in which you came, because I hated them. And the reason why, everyone else seemed to understand it, but I didn't. And instead of having my teacher kind of break it down, it was just like, why don't you understand it? I did it once. Why don't you get it? Because sometimes we just need a moment to really see where points are coming from. How did I get, my 4/1? Since I'm using miles an hour as a model, you have your 4 for your miles, an hour per hour. So that's talking about 1 hour. That's where the 1 came from. So now we're talking about miles and hours on the other ratio. So since miles is in the numerator, that's why there's a 10 up here. And since we're looking for how long will it take, that's our unknown that's in the bottom. Okay? So these are like the little things. So don't worry. Okay? Right? So this is where it's like you need to take it step by step, because guess what? We all are coming from different backgrounds, guys. Some of us may have opportunities, had a teacher that broke down the fundamental stuff. Some of us may have missed the fundamental stuff, and not just because of COVID, because we're a little bit older. Right? Some of us may have not had to stay in school because you had to take care of your younger siblings. Some people might have been traveling all over the place, and not just because of military, because you always had to find a place to stay. Everyone has different backgrounds and different reasons why they don't have the knowledge. Some of us, we just haven't seen it in a long time. So I tried to make this into a safe space. If this is not the place for you, I appreciate you stopping by. Okay? I got one more question, and then we're done for today. All right? So, again, if you want to take practice with this one came out from my ASVAB book. Okay? And this is why I want you to understand. So if you're trying to get into the ASVAB, and I got some math practice for you, so a lot of them is in that arithmetic reasoning, more word problems, and then some of the average phrasing. So again, if you want this, the link is in my bio. Oops. Okay. All right. So let's try our last one for today. We got this. Okay. Yep. So since it's not immediate, it's okay. Take it step by step. In order for you to apply, you have to have the initial knowledge. So, similar to what we did before. So now we got a math scale is 1 inch is equal to 20 miles. So when you're looking at a map, an inch is equivalent to 20 miles. How many inches represent 150 miles? Okay, you need to practice. Okay, perfect. Right, and you got it. But we have to get those math skills. Okay, we have to get those math skills. Okay, so Ken, I see you. Aunt, I see you. Well, thank you so much. User 68, I see you. All right. Baby on board, I see you. Okay, Boneless, I see you. Jose, I see you. Etty, I see you. Samantha, I see you. Waffles, I see you. Hey, Marisol, you're back. Welcome back. I see you. Moreno, I see you. K-Strat, I see you. DJ Big Daddy. What's going on, Big Daddy? I can't believe I'm a grown-ass woman sitting here talking about Big Daddies. Here we go. Can't. You got chest pain just looking at math. I don't know, Allison, you're all right. You're going to be okay. Thanks for the share, Beat and Teach. Okay. Cole, I see you. Slim, I see you. Mika, I see you. All right. Nessa, I see you. Hello, hello. Random, I see you. All right. Is that Soren? I see you. Is this my Soren? Oh, no, it's not my Soren. I was like, what you doing on here? You're on vacay. All right, Justice for All, I see you. It's me, I see you. Faith, I see you. The Realist, I see you. Marisol, yes. Okay, all right. So now, let's break it on down. I see you live, y'all. Devin, I see you. All right, Meredith, I see you. Can it help you on the GED test? Yes, baby. What are you doing? All right. Haley girl, welcome back to you too. So let's take a look. So we're talking about the map scale, inch to miles. So right away, I'm thinking, I got my inch to miles. Anytime I see a comparison, I'm thinking of a ratio. So if I'm comparing two things, so the first one is telling me 1 inch to 20 miles. Anytime I'm doing comparison, I am setting up what's called a proportion. So I need to find the equivalency to 1/20. So then it asks, how many inches? So my inches is my numerator. How many inches? I don't know yet. That's why I put the unknown. Okay? Represents 150 miles. So now we need to take a look. So how would I get from 20 to 150? Okay? So if we think about it, if I go to 6.5, even if I'll notice that there's a whole lot of 0.5s, let me round that first one up to like 7. If I did 20 times 7, that gives me 140. So it can't be exactly 7, so it's not going to be 6.5. This is how I think. I use my answers to help me figure out the solution. Okay? Yeah, we can divide 150 by 20. But here is the thing. Remember, if a lot of you guys are getting the answers because you're using the calculator, GED, there's only certain sections you can use a calculator on. ASVAB, you cannot use a calculator at all. Accuplacer, you cannot use a calculator at all. So you're going to need to practice the way that you're going to test. TEAS test, HESI test, you're able to use a scientific calculator. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. So when we look at it, if I tried to round, let's say, to 8, I know that 20 times 8 is going to be more than 150. So it can't be 8.5, and I'm not even going to try 10. So it has to be 7.5. But if you want, you could do the cross multiplication, or you could do the division. If I cross multiply, I would have gotten 20x is equal to 150. And then if I divide both sides by 20, 20 divided by 20 will give me 1, and that's understood with the x. But now, here's another thing. Don't think of it as larger numbers. They both end with 0. Cancel the zeros out. So now what you're really looking at is 15 over 2. So if I have $15 and I want to split it among 2 people, that means I'm looking at $7.50. Okay? You could multiply both sides by 10. Yeah. All right. Here you go. Well, see, here's the thing, Haley. Now that you mention, put a comment in, I'm in your algorithm. Hi, cousin. How you doing? So here's the thing, Ruthie. I don't know which test you guys are going to be taking. As I mentioned before, if you're trying to get your GED, there's only certain parts they'll let you use a calculator for, and it's an electronic calculator that's on the system. If you're trying to go into the military, you cannot use a calculator at all, nor can you use a calculator for the Accuplacer. So TEAS test, you can use a calculator, but it's a scientific calculator, okay? So then that's that for that, okay? What's up? Comment. Yes, let's comment. All right, so as we all know, there's multiple ways. Okay, there's multiple ways of figuring everything out. Yes, this is definitely going to help you with the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, all of that. Okay, all right, so we're just basically doing mostly things. All right, so again, if you want to have more practice with these, more exact problems, as I mentioned, these problems came directly from, this one came from my ASVAB book, okay? So the math practice with ASVAB. So here you are right here. This one was with the people walking, and this one was the map. And what happens, there's 3 quizzes in here. So you want to practice the way that you're going to test. So each of these is like 40 questions. And guess what? If you're getting your GED, you can use this as a practice as well. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it, because most of the math that you're seeing in the GED is the same math that you're seeing in the ASVAB. Instead of saying Mary walked down the street, they're saying staff sergeant told a private to do blank. That's all it is. But the math is the same. 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, 2 squared, they all equal 4. 3 different ways, same result. Okay? So all you have to do is just sit there, time yourself, give yourself 40 minutes on a timer, and then work out the problems. After you're done with that, then you go to the back and look at the answer key. All right? So then also I did throw an extra bonus quiz in this one as well. So all of this is listed in my stand store. Take a look, take a browse. All right, so that's it. We're breaking down concepts, okay? How not to use a calculator for Accuplacer, and it's time. I know. That's how they split the haves and the have-nots. So it's like you need to learn your basic concepts. Multiplying is key. If you understand your multiplication facts, you'll be able to do any type of math whatsoever. But you really need to hone in on that. And that's what they're expecting you to do. And especially, yes, you have to do it at a timing. But if you practice, just like that other young lady said, well, I hate math and all this stuff. But if you practice with using old material, like what you used when you were in school, and then you're like, I'm confused, because you haven't seen it since you were a fetus, okay? So you really have to learn and develop yourself in order to apply to yourself for a current test. So again, if you have any questions whatsoever, go ahead, click my profile pic, all right? Click it a couple of times, and then send me a message. Don't just say hi. Send me what test you're taking. What have you been using to get yourself prepared for that test? Because if you keep doing the same things over and over, oh, I got a whole bunch of free stuff and I use that. Oh, I watch the videos, I watch these lives, but for some reason I still can't pass the test, because you're not really studying. And it's not your fault, because no one taught you how to study math. No one, except for me. You have to learn the concepts first, and then you can assess. Then you can do the practice. Because wouldn't it be easier when you learn something and they're like, oh, let me do all the practice problems. And then you keep doing practice. You're like, oh, that makes sense. Then you can apply. Okay, do I choose for the GREs? Yes, I do. All right, engage? Yes, good. So this is what you're going to do. So all the tests is not calculator. For which one were you using, Bets? Hold on, because I remember what you saying. For the Accuplacer, yep, can't use a calculator at all. You have to sit down. They'll give you either a whiteboard or with a marker that you can use because they don't want to use paper. So no calculator at all. I know. That's what happens. Okay. Do you have the answers in the back? Of course. What am I going to just like give you a book and like, all right, have fun? Of course I'm going to put the answers in the back. But if you need someone to actually break down the answers, I do have an option that you can look at the video of me breaking everything down. Yep, so that's definitely an option. Can you show us probability? Yeah, it's all in my book. And if you want all the breakdowns, because I do, especially if you need the instruction, that's why I have Algebra at your pace. So it's like a QR code that you have to take basically a picture of. And then once you take the QR code, so I start from the very beginning, we talk about the different types of numbers. So the real numbers, irrational numbers, complex numbers. So I go from there to integers, to fractions, to decimals, to percentage. Okay, doing all of that, exponents, radicals, okay, square roots. Then I give you some practice stuff, okay? The rules that you probably forgot all about is in the very back of the book. So then you have your answer keys. So I go basically from linear equations, quadratics. I'm doing a little geometry, especially those 4-point questions for my GED people. Those 4-point questions are, write this down, slope, equation of line, graphing an equation of line, linear inequalities. Then you have system of equations, system of inequalities, factoring, volume, surface area. There's always one that I'm always missing. But those are like the key 4-point questions. All the questions are not valued the same. So when you got those 4-point questions, the reason why a lot of you guys just miss it between 12 and less points is because you skip those. You can't skip those. Try to get like 3 or 4 of them correct, you'll pass. You know how I know? I used to teach the course. Use my expertise. Is that the one for Texas? It's the one for all of them. Doesn't matter. Because I know there's different names, but the concepts are the same. Can you use your practice exam for the HESI? Yes, you can. Because especially you just got the algebra piece. Maybe not the whole thing. And then also, my faith, or anyone that's thinking about taking their TEAS test, if you need help with diagnosis calculations, make sure you follow a blessed RN. Okay? I'll put that in the chat. Make sure you follow her because that is her thing. That's all she does. And she's still a licensed RN. So you might as well learn from her. Okay, so if you're thinking about getting your TEAS test and your HESI test and you need like more help with doses calculations, go see a blessed RN. Miss, how should I get ready for pre-calculus next year? How strong are you with your algebra? Awesome, McCool. How strong are you? You're welcome. Okay. Do you have some practice problems for the GREs? Mostly for the algebra part? Yep. Basically, the books that I showed you, you can use that practice exam as well. Okay. And what I mean by the practice exam for GRE, it'll be this one. Okay. So all my books that's on my, I have to emphasize this, because sometimes people think, why didn't I get the physical book? If you're clicking and it says download, you cannot download a physical book. Okay, let me just make that clear. Everything that you see on my stand store are ebooks. If you want the physical book, scroll all the way to the bottom and there's a section that says physical books and resources on the A word. I can't say the A word because I'll get dinged. All right, so if that's something that you want, let's stop. Okay, it's okay, but towards the end of the year, I got a little shaky. Okay, all right. So if anything, try with some of the practice problems. Now, here's the one thing, McCool. This is one thing that you could do. Take a look, take the free test that I have in my stand store. There's a freebie. Take the freebie. If you do extremely well with that, then just go and I would take one of the practice tests, okay, just to keep you up and nimble. But if you look at it and you're like, I don't know what any of this is, you're probably going to have to go with my Algebra at the pace. Okay. Yeah, usually at the end of school year. All right, you have a great day, McFaith. Not a problem, my faith. All right. Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. All right, everyone. So again, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. If you are in the East Coast, it's going to be a hot one. It's going to be hot. So please be careful. Hey, California living, how are you doing? So if anything, just be careful. Make sure you're doing all right. Drink lots of water. Don't do what I did. Spend so much time in the garden. Hence this lovely glow. So if anything, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you need any more assistance, go ahead and click the link in my profile. All right, guys.